Hello and welcome back to my channel. Thank you for the commitment that you have shown to the content that has been published on a regular basis on this channel. And in case you're new, I want to welcome you. This is a channel that you will find content on personal development, leadership, and life management. And I urge you to subscribe and also hit the notification button so that each time I publish new videos, you will be notified. My name is Kpamor Suleh, and this week I hope to give you content that will take your life from where it is to an unimaginable height. I wish to share with you a principle of the kingdom that will transform your life in a measure that you never imagined possible and at a rate that you never imagined realizable. And that principle says that your experience is determined by what you see. Your experience is determined by what you see. We have a story in the book of Genesis chapter 30 of a man by the name Jacob who was living with his father-in-law Laban by name, and Laban swindled him a number of times with regards to his wages, to a point that he wondered how he would leave Laban's house empty-handed. And God gave him an idea that demonstrated this principle. God told him to do an action that I don't want to describe it. I want us to read that action that he did exactly the way it has been presented in the scriptures. And for a much clearer understanding, I have decided I will read that from the Amplified translation because it presented it in a very interesting way. So we'll read Genesis chapter 30 from verse 37 down to 39. It says, "But Jacob took fresh rods of poplar and almond and plane trees and peeled white streaks in them, exposing the white in the rods. Then he set the rods which he had peeled in front of the flocks in the watering troughs where the flocks came to drink. And since they bred and conceived when they came to drink, the flocks bred and conceived in sight of the rods and brought forth lambs and kids, streaked, speckled, and spotted." Now, this means Jacob literally determined what the flock brought forth by conditioning the flocks on what they saw. Now, this principle is a kingdom principle and is applicable not only to animals. You remember when God spoke to Abraham concerning his descendants. When he had no child, he told him to come out into the open and lift up his eyes and see into the skies. He saw and looked at the stars. And God told him that is how his descendants will be. And eventually, we have seen the fulfillment of that word. And so it's a kingdom principle that has worked over the ages, has worked also in my life. You can transform your life and your destiny simply by adjusting your vision. You can transform your destiny by simply adjusting your sight. And I'm not talking about the physical sight. In fact, it's better for you to be physically blind but have your spiritual sight than for you to be spiritually blind but have your physical sight. And any time in history and even in present life that men stumbled on this principle and activated it, it worked miraculously for them. Now, there is a place in Psalms where it gives us an impression that there was a time that the psalmist also saw the need of this principle, and he saw himself handicapped that he did not have the requisite spiritual sight to see things so as to experience what he wanted. And so he cried unto God. It's recorded in Psalms 118, verse 18, 119, rather, Psalms 119 and verse 19, where he said, "Open thou my eyes, that I may behold wondrous things out of thy law." Open thou my eyes, that I may behold wondrous things out of thy law. And so this should be your prayer. If there is nothing you have seen about your destiny with which you are convinced and sure that you will experience, then the prayer of the psalmist needs to be your prayer. If there is nothing about your destiny that even when you are woken up from sleep, you can be sure you will experience, then this needs to be your prayer. And he said that he wants to see wondrous things out of the scripture. Now, wanting something that is wondrous is what is amazing, is what commands awe. It's what amazes people. And let me tell you that inside of the scripture, the Bible, are wondrous things that await your experience. The Bible is laden with wondrous experiences that God desires you to have. And these experiences will become a part of your life only by conditioning your sight. They will become a part of your life just by conditioning what you see out of the scripture. Now, that Bible that is gathering dust on your shelf, that Bible that you find it very difficult to read, or even when you pick it up to read, suddenly you slip off. That Bible that you don't even have a copy and you are not making preparations to buy. As a matter of fact, you think that those who spend money on it simply do not have better things to buy. I want you to know that laden inside of that Bible are experiences that are transformational. Experiences that can guarantee a destiny of excellence and royalty. And you can access these experiences only by seeing them in Scripture. You can access these experiences only by crying out for spiritual sight and locating these experiences in the Bible. Now, I have enjoyed this principle. There are things I have seen in Scripture that there is no devil that can convince me otherwise about my experience of them. In fact, some I have not started experiencing them, but I am so convinced about them that there is no devil in hell or on earth that can convince me against the conviction that I already have. When you see these things, nothing changes your mind. Nothing changes your conviction. So I am here to introduce to you a potent principle that has been tested over the ages, that is presently working even in our time, a principle that I am a beneficiary of, that works miraculously. And that principle is that your experience is determined by what you see. The principle is that you can transform your destiny and your life just by adjusting or conditioning your sight. I want to encourage you, if you've not got spiritual sight and you have not seen anything from the Bible, you need to pray like the psalmist prayed and call upon the Lord that He will open your eyes so that you can behold wondrous things from the scripture. I encourage you to take seriously this principle of the kingdom, walk with it, and I can assure you that in no distant time, you will see transformations in your life that will amaze you. And if by chance you have sight and you have seen things from the scripture, but it looks as if you were deceived, and maybe God lied to you, I want to let you know that just like the book of Titus tells us in chapter 1 verse 2, it says God cannot lie. Numbers, the book of Numbers also tells us that he is not a man that he should lie, neither is he a son of a man that he should change his mind. Just hold on to what you have seen, and I can tell you that you will eventually experience what you have seen. Hold on to it, and I can tell you that you will certainly experience what you have seen. Thank you for this time with me. If you have not subscribed, I urge you to please subscribe and also hit the notification button so that each time I publish a video, you will be notified. I also request that you like the video and also share it with your friends and family members, and drop a comment also on how the video has helped you. And also you can drop a comment on how best I can serve you through this channel. Thank you very much. I look forward to seeing you next week, Thursday, 6 p.m. GMT +1. God bless you.